I guess the tough one, obviously, the tough question is always when you form, whether it's a law firm or whether it's a chartered accountant, whatever, is how do you access the market? It's always a tough one. To say, as a black law firm, how do you get your credentials and you get trusted, and how to open the door? It's always sometimes it sounds easy and it's not, and sometimes you think it's about the profile, it's about the proposal, business proposal, it's about the quotations, but it's not. It's just it's about probably the relationship. How do you get to know the top decision maker of the company? Yeah. Because you can scrabble and go through telecom and you do the nice presentation, you do a nice proposal, you offer even the cheaper rates or whatever, but you still battle, because you are not knocking at the right door. So I think critical when you just start a firm is just to identify who is the decision maker in that company, just to take a little bit of a time to understand. If it's MTN, to say, for example, at MTN, who is really the guy who runs? Is it the CEO? Is there somebody behind? In other companies, the CEO is the one who runs the show. In other companies, you find that CEO is just on the strategic level. There are certain guys who are running the show. So getting to understand that once you got the guys, the database of the people, the 2 or 10 or 5 people who are critical in that particular company, is now to see what will be the best method to influence them. I always say sometimes it's more like politics. I always take corporate politics just the same, or soccer team. It's what you call the influence game, winning the influence game. Because once you know who runs, then the difficult issue now is the hosting studies. How do you win that influence game? How do you position yourself? Who do you go direct? Or do you want Mr. Mawera or Robert or somebody who's very close to that guy to take you through? That is the critical part because of how to win that influence game. And also not giving up. Sometimes I see often people come to presentation and they do 1, 2 follow-ups, then they say, look, these guys don't want to, and it's always nice that they say, if Robert is not going through Robert rightly, I'll go back, but maybe this time we'll go back through with Mawera and whoever to say, how can I go in, And it's not always true that you win the business through going to formal presentation. Sometimes you do it through outside the office network. That's when the influence is easy. If you find me sitting in my office and I become polluted with the office work and office ethics, and I'm thinking, but my mind is not really on you. It's probably on what is happening. The board meeting I was supposed to attend, certain decision which was made by one of my colleagues, which was against my department, or CEOs trying to put his hand more into some of my duties. So those things cloud you in the office sometimes. And even when you come and then you listen to others, okay, I'll talk to you. Peter is the head of legal or saying how Peter can get you into the panel or whatever. But the most influential one, and which works, is out of the office. It works wonders because out of the office, I'm out of my cocoon, I'm more relaxed, and I'm thinking, I'm able to think without the other thing to say how best can I put you. It is easy to make commitment outside than the office than to when I'm in the office, Outside the office, I would say, I'll talk to this guy, the guy called Fusi, runs the legal department, I'm going to talk to you. I'll give him a shot. Don't want, let me give him a shot. Physically meet this guy. You know, that's it. Whereas in the office work, it's difficult, yeah. It is. And again, you mustn't undersell yourself. That's another issue. You see, when you come as an African law firm or as an African general accountant or a company member, in a high corporate, there's always that perception that you undercapacitated. You do not have the capacity. You don't have enough skills. You don't know what you're doing. So, and if you also come with that, you just reinforce that immediately. You know, so you must come really well prepared. Unfortunately, the difficult part is that with us as Africans mostly, we always like to have one man show or two man show. So it becomes a problem because it reinforces that mentality that you do not have a capacity. But if you come as a team like this is a law firm, 2, 4, 6 lawyers already. What tells me is this is a heavyweight team. Those guys are, you know. But if you're a one man, 2 men, I become thinking, what is it that which probably needs just vetting, a little bit of vetting there, which I can give you. Yeah, but it's not a bigger portfolio. So that's the problem we face with the black professionals, that we can't seem to gel and work together. We can't seem to have a partnership which we can work together. We still, you know, hook a lot into a mentality of a name tag on the name. What the law firm says is my name, you know, and that is killing us a lot. Because if I tell you now, I can tell you for the past, I was practicing in 1994, 95, 96 years. I was practicing. 96, 38, I left the practice issues. I went into bank, into project funding, finance, tax. Then I left, I went to telecom, to treasury thing until 2001. I was running the treasury department and mergers and acquisition when I joined MTN. But the progress made by black lawyers hasn't moved. Since then, they haven't moved. And then when I sit now, I was head of legal at MTN for almost 6-7 years before I became the director. But if you go in and say, I want a proper, good law firm, which is bigger, you can't find. There isn't. You know, there isn't any law firm which, and sometimes you say, well, let me find a law firm with 5 partners. I'm talking about partners, not just candidate attorneys. Can't find. Find 1 or 2 partners with 2 associates or candidate attorneys. And now it becomes a problem to sell that to the board of the people. If there's a job for 20, 50 or 100 million, there's a claim for 100 million, they immediately say, you can't give it to that law firm, it's too small. So sometimes you're forced to take a risk and just give these guys so that you can prove that these guys can do it. Yeah. So that's a real threat. And I can tell you now, if tomorrow there was to be a law firm with 10 or 15 black partners, heavyweight, serious black partners, the landscape will change like this. The Weber Wenzel, the Goldman, the Edward Nathan, Cliff Decker will immediately feel the pitch that there is, right from government, private companies, they wouldn't not use it. Even if there were 10 partners. I can tell you now, there isn't. You can go just 10 partners, senior people, who are at the partner level. Now, when the best people who nearly came was Bali, Trene, and Binali. You know, they were, but by then there were even 3 partners, but senior partners who were not Bali and then Binali. But they nearly got the chemistry right. But just when they were on everybody's panel, every company's panel to say if you want the good guy company, then they lost it. I think the unfortunate part was one of the partner, the main partner, Binana Tabo, who was the operational guy, passed away, and then it collapsed. Now Mahlangu, they tried Mahlangu, and then the lady with the Mabanda's girl, they tried. I think they were KNN or whatever, or MM. They tried. There were 4 good ones, good offices, good everything. They were doing well, extremely well. But what happened was the EFK, Edward Nathan, realized that these guys are going to become a threat. And in everybody's mouth now, they are really going through, if there's a government tender, big tender, they're there. If there's a big corporation, they're there. So they bought them. You see, they bought them in and they incorporated them in. So that's how threatening, that is, and I have no doubt if you get another 4 big partners, black guys who come in and says, we got this strong company, have nice offices, being presentable, go in aggressively market, they will take them out because that's how the market is. So